Do you have cracks, holes, or marker on your walls, but you're not sure how to fix them before you paint? Well, you're in luck. I've been repairing walls like these for over 20 years as a professional painter, and today I'm gonna show you exactly how I do it. In this video, I'm gonna show you 5 of the most common wall repairs that you'll encounter in your home, and I'll walk you through how to repair each one so that your paint job turns out smooth, uniform, and super snazzy. All right, so number 1, we're gonna start with something super common that I see all the time, which is nail and screw holes. They're small, but if you skip repairing them, then they'll stick out after you paint them. It's gonna look super gross. But first, we're gonna need some tools and supplies. What I prefer is a 6-inch mudding knife or taping knife, whatever you wanna call it, and an 8-inch. Generally, I put the joint compound on this, as you will see, and then apply the product with the 6-inch and smooth it out, as we'll get into in a minute. And the type of joint compound we're gonna be using for the majority of these repairs is Green Label joint compound. It works for a variety of applications like the ones I'm about to show you. Let's get into it. All right, so we've got some holes right here, some bigger ones that are from screws and so forth. So the first thing I'm gonna do is get some joint compound on my blades here. Not gonna need too much, so that should do it. So on little holes like this, what I like doing is just taking the base of the mudding knife and just jamming it in the hole and then kind of mush it in a little bit. That way it makes the divot more like concave and it'll just create a smoother finish. So just go ahead and punch all these in real quick. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of joint compound on my 6-inch and then I'm gonna apply it over the area where all the holes are. You just want to spackle over these areas, and these will probably suck in a little bit, but we'll come back and do a second once this dries. All right, so next up in the number 2 slot, we've got a couple nails, some picture hangers, and some anchors that are empty and the one that's got a screw in it. So I'll show you a couple different ways to take care of these, but there are a couple things about the anchors particularly that are important to know. And you can remove the nails if they come out just by pulling them out with your hand, that's great. But for like picture hangers and things like that, you might want to use some pliers or you can use the back of a hammer, whatever works for you. I'm just going to yank these out. And boom. Now, these type of anchors are super common, these little yellow ones right here. And what I like doing is actually shearing those off with my 6-inch spackle blade. All right, so with the spackle blade, it's super easy to just come in and shear that off. You kind of get right behind the tip of that anchor and then just like shove your blade right through it. And that's gonna shear it off so that now it's almost even with the surface. And then usually what I do after that is I just take the base of my blade and shove it in a little bit, and now you've got this nice little divot. Do the same thing here. So for these kind of anchors, you have 2 options. You can leave them in and kind of mush them in, or you can back them out completely. And then generally you're just gonna use a Phillips screwdriver, back that out, and then you can yank that baby out. And then you wanna, again, mush that down. You can use the base of a screwdriver or whatever you need to kind of make that like dimple in. And then for this one, generally I like removing the screw, obviously. Just take that out. And then what you can do is actually just screw this further into the wall. Just another good way to do this. This one's a little cockeyed, but we'll have to mush that down a little bit. Now we've got pretty much all these anchor holes in the same spot as these other holes we just repaired. We're gonna do the same thing. Just take some joint compound, make sure we fill in all those holes. And then particularly on these bigger ones, it's likely that we're gonna have to do 2 coats because they probably will pucker a little bit, and that is okay. If you want to know which primers and paints we recommend from all the major brands, check out our free online community. It's packed with everything you need to get started painting your home the right way, all for free. If that's something you're into, check out the link in the description below. So right over here, we've got a big crack in the wall. The way that I like to repair these is first, I just want to like use my mudding knife and just kind of go over and see if there's any things like loose bits I can scrape off to just make it a bit even. Once I've scraped the crack and any kind of like debris that's around it, I'm actually gonna go lay a bead of caulk in there with my caulk gun. This is just standard kind of powerhouse caulk. It's for interior exterior use. It's got a decent amount of flex. You can use higher flex caulks and that works great too. But this works pretty well and will be fine for our demonstration purposes. So again, I just wanna follow that crack, make sure I got enough in there to fill it. And then I'm just gonna smooth that out. And we will come back over this and skim coat it when we're done here. Coming in at number 4, we've got a few things going on. In this area, we have some pen, some black pen, some red pen. We've got some pencil, as well as some markers, and this face here is Sharpie. I have found that just because you give your kids washable markers does not mean that's what they're going to use on the walls. So if you have marks like this, if you don't specialty prime these, they're going to bleed right through your finish paint. So the two things that I've seen work the best have been bin shellac, and if you have a larger area that's stained or has stuff going on, that's a great option with a roller. But if you have something like this, a good old can of original spray kills works really well. Before you depress the trigger up here, you want to make sure the can's already moving. You just don't want to get any heavy buildup. It can be somewhat annoying to deal with. So just those are my little tips on there. I'll give you one more once I spray this area and show you what that looks like. And one other quick tip for using kills, once you're done, it's a great idea to go outside, turn the can upside down, and spray it until the gas goes clear. That way the tip won't jam, and the next time you go to use it, it'll actually work. I've jammed many a can by not doing that very thing. All right, so coming in at number 5, we have a repair around this outlet, and we see this all the time. This is a little bit of an extreme example of where the outlet was cut out, but they cut a little bit too far up, usually when they either entered or exited with the saw or whatever tool they happen to use, and then the plate's not going to cover this. So we need to fix this. So again, we're just going to spackle this real quick. This might take 2 coats, but that's all right. We're just going to layer it in, make sure we fill that gap, clean away the excess, and we're let that dry and see if it needs a second coat. So all these repairs are ready for a second coat of joint compound. We'll say that they're dry enough. I've got to scoot things along production wise, so here we go. And just keep in mind when you're laying down joint compound, drywall mud, whatever you want to call it, over your repaired area, you want to make sure you've got enough of the joint compound over that surface so that when you sand it down, it ends up being flush or close to flush with the wall. A lot of times I see people, they don't put enough compound on the wall, or they put way too much. It's a delicate balance, and what I have found is the best way to get better at drywall repair is to sand your own repairs. That'll get you better real quick because you'll see what you're doing wrong. All right, so the second layer of joint compound is dry on all the repairs that we did, but we're not done quite yet. If you don't sand and prime those areas, when you go to top coat them, all of those repairs will just show through. It's gonna look gross, and you don't want that. We're almost there. There's a lot of different ways to sand. You can use sponges, you can use something like a fez tool or another type of extractor. Those are awesome. But I'm gonna do the most basic one, which is using sandpaper. I'm gonna use 150 grit, and then I'm gonna use a shop vac to suck up the dust as I am sanding. And in general, when I sand by hand, I'm gonna go in more of a circular manner, and then what you're trying to do is knock the joint compound down a little bit so it's more even with the surface of the wall. And again, you don't want a huge mound of spackle in the middle of your wall. You want it kind of as close to even as you can, but you don't want to sand off all of it and then reveal your repair. Alrighty, now that these spots are all sanded and I vacuumed up everything, if you generate a lot of dust, good idea to vacuum up the walls as well so you're not having all that crusty dust everywhere. And then the last thing we have to do is prime. And 2 things real quick about priming. 1, use the same nap of roller that you're going to be using for your finish paint. That's way the stipple pattern is the same. And 2, I'm just going to use a pretty standard multi-purpose primer from Sherwin-Williams. But for basic drywall repair, any of those types of primers will work. Multi-purpose primers are ubiquitous. They're sold everywhere. So whatever you like, it should work for this application. All right, so now that all these repaired areas are primed, once that primer dries, it'll be ready for our top coats of finish paint of whatever type you prefer, but they are good to go. So now you know how to prep your walls. You want to make sure you avoid the 3 biggest mistakes we see DIYers make when they paint them. If you're interested in that, you can check that video out right over here. Until next time, y'all take it easy, work smart, and have a good one. Peace.